The web and us. Great combination. After all, where would MySpace, YouTube or eBay be without us? The net has become a hive of free expression, a space where any idea can make it big. But these often heard celebratory hurrahs about all things online are being joined by some pretty apocalyptic warnings served up in 2 new books about the internet. These authors don't like the way things are going. Dan Simmons asked them why.
2 new books and 2 very different warnings. One about technology itself.
I'm concerned that a whole new range of innovation, precisely the kind of disruptive, mold-breaking innovation that's so important, that could fade away and we won't even notice it gone.
The other, fear of a social meltdown.
The bullies will win. If there are no facts, and the only truth is a result of the strongest, most emphatic assertion, what happens to the patient, soft-spoken, contemplative people? They'll get drowned out.
In this and next week's Click, we'll present both views and ask what you think. We start in one of the world's oldest seats of study, Oxford. Stuffy, orthodox, elitist, our first author is not. In his book, The Internet and How to Stop It, Jonathan Zittrain celebrates the freedom the net and the PC has given to people to openly create and share their innovations with us all.
Anything from the World Wide Web. The idea of a web came from Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist, who dreamt it up, donated it to the world at large, wasn't exactly a business plan kind of thing, to most instant messaging, things like Internet Relay Chat or Talk on Unix, or were the ancestors of instant messenger today. Electronic mail came from the Internet Engineering Task Force, which didn't try to sell it or patent it. The wiki, what we now think of as the engine behind Wikipedia, another crazy idea that happened to turn out to be really good.
But increasingly with such freedom has come viruses, security threats and malware. What Zittrain describes as bad code, which he fears is starting to drive us towards closed, guarded networks, where everything is watched over and approved by a gatekeeper.
Well, thanks to the problems of bad code, I think more and more people or companies that run machines that people use, like in corporate environments, your workstation, they will be driven into the waiting arms of either what I call sterile information appliances, things like the iPod or the iPhone or the PSP, Sony PlayStation, things like that that don't allow outside code on the machine either at all or without the permission of the platform vendor, or they will end up migrating towards the web itself. And by that I mean they'll find someone on the web to deliver services to them that substitute for what they used to do on their PC. They'll do their documents in Google Docs, they'll do their email in Google Mail, they'll do their messaging in Facebook.
Now, many of us, of course, just want our devices to work, and if that means a big company overseeing it, well, so be it. But for innovators working to closed platforms like Google's, Apple's or Facebook's, well, that changes the game.
The natural presence of the platform online means that Facebook gets to control it far more. And you read the Facebook Terms of Service, and it contains things provided automatically by the lawyers. It's not evidence of some terrible plan by Facebook, but there it is, reserved to Facebook, rights that Bill Gates, Mr. Proprietary, could never have dreamed of. Rights to charge the makers of applications for the privilege of allowing that application to continue to exist on Facebook at any rate Facebook chooses. Rights to terminate any application that they don't like for any reason.
If just a few big names had played gatekeeper in the past, would applications like Skype have ever got off the ground? With no money in it for operators, Zittrain fears commercial interests may have strangled free international calling over the net. If the music industry had easily been able to kill off file-sharing applications used to illegally swap songs, would we now have the BBC's iPlayer, which uses the same technology? In a bid to get a more reliable service, if we move to locked down, managed gadgets like Apple's iPhone, do we risk caging innovation itself?
If we all happened to carry iPhones, what it would mean is that first, Steve Jobs is a very happy man, but not just because he's selling iPhones, but because he now runs the platform. He can decide how much Apple will charge for a new application to run on the iPhone that might be beneficial to iPhone users. And for the content and applications that might be the most disruptive, maybe to Jobs' business model or to somebody else's business model who knows Jobs and knows where to sue him, that could be killed or stopped early in a way that with our untethered technologies, the old-fashioned PC, wasn't able to be stopped. And I think we need, either by law or by technology, to make sure that as we move to cloud computing and to tethered devices, that the tether isn't so tight that new stuff can be strangled before it has a chance to prove its worth.
You can see much more of that interview, including Jonathan's own solution to the problem he poses, at our website. Next week, the importance of being popular. Author Lee Segal tells me why this self-obsessed me crowd threatens us all.
I would urge them to grow up, to put a stop to this high schoolification of society in which the high school nightmare has come true.